Hey y'all, it's Chris here with Rockin Farm, and while I can talk about my pigs for days, the channel can't be all pigs. We've got a lot of other stuff going on the farm right now, and basically it's that time of year. If you live in Central Texas, if you haven't already started your seeds, you should. So what I've got behind me here is the seed starting system that we developed a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, it worked amazingly for us, and last year we had so much trouble it was ridiculous. We were able to track down the soil that we had used the first year, and we used it again this year, and I'll tell you what, y'all, this system is banging. So I'll explain the system a little bit, but what I'm probably most likely going to do is see if I can track down the old videos and post them up as links so that you can go back and take a look at how we actually built the system. But basically, it's kind of a Kratky-ish hydroponic type seed starting system. You can see the solo cups. There is a cotton string that is wound around in the soil and hangs down into a reservoir of water that has nutrient mixed in with it. We plant our seeds into it, and then we've got the Barina LED grow lights, and it's just an old 4-foot shelving system. So I'll tell you what, though, if you can kind of see some of the plants behind me, and I'll show you a little bit closer in a second, it is banging. So let me explain a little. Some of the stuff that we started isn't things that I would typically start. Usually I direct sow zucchinis and squashes and cucumbers, but we have a problem here with those stupid little pill bugs. People call them roly-polies, pill bugs, etc. The squash will get about this tall, and then the pill bugs will come in and eat it all the way down to the ground. We've tried DE, we've tried beneficial nematodes, we've tried a lot of different things, you know, making sure it's hard to keep all the litter cleared out because we use wood chips in our beds. So there's lots of places for these little roly-polies to hide, and they destroy these zucchinis. So we decided to go ahead and start them in the system, and you can see, I mean, they are taking off like freaking crazy. So our plan is to get them into 1-gallon buckets, set them out on the porch, water them, let them continue to grow. If they get even bigger and we have to transfer them into 5-gallon buckets before it's time to plant in the garden, so be it. But we'll be planting nice, mature zucchini and cucumber plants that are far too big for the roly-polies to want anything to do with them. And our hope is that we will also get a really good, nice harvest, at least one, if not a couple of harvests, before all of our cucumber vine borers and stuff like that start coming in and destroying our squash and cucumber plants for harvest. So like I said, I know it's unusual. Usually this is a direct sow. April 1st, you throw a seed in the ground and then let them grow through summer. But you can see we started these last weekend. So these are about 8 days old. 8 days from seed in the ground to a plant that is 5 inches tall. Tomatoes are also doing unbelievably well. We're fixing to thin these out here real soon. And for those of you who don't know a whole lot about starting seeds, it's really tempting to look at like the nice big tall long one and say, ooh, that's the best one. That is not the best one. I actually like this one right here because it has a very thick stalk and a very thick base, and it's nice and stubby. So that's kind of like your bulldog of plants. Whereas these stringy, leggier ones, those aren't nearly as healthy. Tomatillos are starting to germinate as well. We've got a few peppers that are starting to act like they want to do a little something. The peppers are always last. More peppers. These are all poblano peppers, nothing yet. And we have noticed that even when some of the peppers, like jalapenos, start to break through the seed shell, the poblanos are always going to be last. San Marzano tomatoes, scallop squash back there, all different types of like sweet cherry tomatoes and Cherokee purple tomatoes. Let me see. These little guys are actually eggplants, so that's cool. We've got cucumbers back there, and then our gray zucchinis, which is always our last zucchini to pop up. These are also sometimes called Mexican gray squash, but they're starting to come in. Again, you can see the reservoir. If you look closely, you can see the string down in there, but you can also see root matter and root mass that is already draining down into the water. So at this point, the string, it doesn't even matter because this plant here is actually officially now getting a drink from the water itself. What I'll probably do is in the next couple of days, because I don't want to kill off all these roots, is I'll add just maybe a ½ inch of water to this. And that should actually push us all the way until it's time to pull them out anyhow. So again, y'all, for us personally, kind of rule of thumb is get your seed started on Valentine's Day so that you can plant on April Fool's Day. Seems like we always get that one last little you thought you had it, haha, for you, blast of cold weather right at the end of March. So I generally wait until April Fool's Day to plant, back that up 6 weeks, and that puts you right at Valentine's Day. Now, this system is so effective, and they grow so quickly in this system that I have actually started waiting a little bit longer. So we didn't plant these until the 21st, and I'm kind of wishing I had maybe waited another few days just because these zucchinis especially are going crazy. But again, if you're in Central Texas, it is not too late, but get those seeds in the ground now. The soil that I use is actually made by Burpee, but it is an organic coconut core based potting soil that has some organic nutrient in it. I like it because coconut core is much more sustainable than peat moss. It seems to really hold the water well, but not too well. Like it does a really good job of keeping the soil at just the right moisture content. So again, that soil is made by, I believe, Burpee. I'll find a link to it at Tractor Supply and drop it down in the comments section. If y'all have any comments about this specific seed starting system, or any questions about how it works, or any other questions about gardening here in Central Texas, feel free to reach out to me. You can either shoot me an email at rockin8farm@gmail.com or drop it down in the comment section. I'll get back with you as soon as I can. But until I see y'all again, this has been Chris with Rockin8 Farm, and I want every single one of you to be happy and live healthy.